And then also another thing is actually the rubber seal here, it gets really sticky and it turns like rubber. That copper spray that we sprayed on, you can see a little bit part of it right there. I'm going to try to touch it. This is actually a clean seal. It's never been broken off since it's been, I call it collapsed together. Okay, so look at that. There we go. See, it turns like a rubbery. So that, remember again, it's metal that is actually sealed on. So it has like a little, it just makes it rubberized. It's a nice seal all around. We only put it on the cylinder head gasket. We didn't put it on the base gasket. So we should be okay there. This is probably where it needs the most. Is why it's using metal, because the fact is there's so much combustion. And I think with paper, it could probably burn it, because you have a lot of spark igniting here and everything. So that's probably why they use a base gasket that's made from a thin metal or steel. And so we got this in there now. Let's go ahead and put our valve covers and let's see how it looks. I also brought some washers here to it, the black washers. I add that on there. So let's see how nice this looks. We can finally protect and cover it. I'm gonna keep the saran wrap on here because there's nothing here protecting our intake manifold. Just shove it in there. Okay, let's go ahead and put the valve covers, and then we're ready. Almost put things back into place. We're probably gonna pop the engine back into its frame and be able to actually ride. We're going to change out the variated rollers to our testing preferred actual real 12 grams that we got the package kind of mix and mingle, or the manufacturer did. So now that we know the correct one, we're going to be able to put that in there just fine. All right, looks really nice. Nice and brisk here out too as well. This has already been torqued, by the way. We torqued it to about 180 inch-pound, and they've been already torqued. Before you even do this, you want to make sure this gets torqued. And in fact, I realized that you want to probably tighten these first before you actually tighten these guys down, because what this does is when you tighten this down, it's going to lift this guy up back. So you want to make sure. I went back here and these things were still torqued to about 7 foot-pounds, so 84 inch-pound. So these guys were good. So I went back there and just double checked my work. So I did that. So this is again 180 inch-pounds, which equals to about anywhere you want to use your calculator, maybe 15 or 15 foot-pounds. So 180 inch-pounds there. And the valve covers, just make sure it's nice and clean. Take a little rag or something to wipe it. Make sure no oil or dust, because you don't want to introduce that to your rocker arms, which funnels back into the cam chain and everything else goes back into the engine. So want to make sure that gets cleaned up. Wipe the lining of where your rubber O-ring is. Use a lint-free, shop rag like this, or shop disposable towel. Get that nice and clean. That's what I love about SSP-G and Taida. They almost look like exactly identical, and they use a nice gasket sealed even for their valve covers. So that's for the crankcase ventilation. So it goes through here. By the time it makes it here, you see already it's kind of a sludgy thing. So we'll see about where we're going to reroute it. We might just keep it the way it is. So we'll see if it actually builds up and create a blockage problem or anything like that in the future. But you also want to make sure this area is clean, because this is where it's going on, and there's no more gasket other than that rubber O-ring is going to smash into this. So this is fairly brand new. You can see, even though there's engine oil residing in here, it hasn't really made out here yet. So that's kind of pretty interesting to know. But let's go and get that sealed out. Also want to protect where our what do you call that? Where our spark plug would have been. I don't want to put the spark plug in there because it's just easy to turn things around when the spark plug's not in there. You can see this is where it's going to go. And these ones are going to be replacing our other ones. Since we don't have any chrome ones, I think the black ones, it's still Allen bolts, not looking too shabby there. See how it looks. It fits pretty good. Try to get that screwed in first. Let's see if I can screw it in like this way. There we go. It's going in. No resistance there. Get the next one. Try to put them on there. It looks really cool with the Allen bolts. I really like it. I don't think it'll create a blockage problem or anything. I think where it's probably going to hit this right here is probably not going to hit anywhere here. So I think these Allen bolts make the valve covers look a lot more aggressive. I always try to go for that machine bolt look, and with these ones you can't really get that effect. I mean, they're nice, you know what I mean, but they're just too plain Jane. It's time to get these, and now they have it where you can actually cover it to make it look like this. So I'm like, but they're more round there. So you can actually cover it to make it cover the hex pattern. So you can put that, you know, some people on their motorcycle or something like that, they take these ones, they're nice and chrome, and then they put a little plate on it to make it back to look like this one. It's like, why don't you just go get one that look at? But I think what it is they want the round effect. They don't want the hex looking. So it just depends on your preference. Again, it's not going to do any more for your engine, but just aesthetically, it just makes you feel cool. So I wish I could find more of these ones. We already blue Loctite this one as well. So maybe in the future, when we take it out a second time, I'll be able to, you know, just take a measurement of this again and find out exactly, you know, what actual size it is, because I don't want to get anything extended too longer. So this one's good. We were going to leave one off, I forgot. Because actually, for right now, tightening it, torquing it, we might want to just go ahead and, well, thing is, I don't have a torque spec on this one, but you would torque this the same. You would go about maybe 7 foot-pounds. It's just a valve cover. So we'll just torque it by hand. I'll put this in here now, that way I won't lose it. And then we'll go and take off our starter motor, high torque starter motor Shenyi, and actually replace that bolt as well. But we'll also inspect it, clean it. Now this one, we're not going to put the Marvel mystery oil to lubricate the gears. We're actually going to go ahead and put the proper assembly lube on that one. We just want to make sure everything looks good before we do that. Assembly lube's a little bit more thicker. The reason why we put Marvel mystery, because it's lighter, it can burn off faster in their valves. That's the reason. Now when you do this, make sure you come around, make sure there's, you know, the D-ring's not hanging somewhere, it maybe fell loose or anything. It's a brand new, well, sort of brand new, so it shouldn't be coming loose that easily. There's little notches on those valves covers to protect it from just coming off. So it looks really nice. I'll go almost there. That's what it probably would look like, the final. Look at that. Pretty aggressive looking. Looked like a 232 built, but half of it. Alright, so we're going to do a star pattern still, even with the Allen bolts. You still want to do a star pattern. The reason why is not to actually strip the bolts or anything, it's actually apply pressure evenly. Okay. Then we're going to give it a good final snug eventually, after we all get everything done. Okay, there we go. 1 tug. 2 tug. 3 tug. And 4 tug. That should be it. Now this guy's going to be loosened up because we need to put the ground wire and everything back for him. I already pre-loosened the bolts for the high torque starter motor. So let's go ahead and check this one out, and let's go and get some assembly lube to help it. It's like, I think it has anti-seize too, but the most thing we need it for is to make sure. I think it might be in here. Yeah, there it goes, our engine assembly lube. Normally you could put this, again, I guess our cylinder is more of a lighter cast cylinder than it is to a car. So that's why we probably just use the Marvel mystery oil. It's a little lighter, burns out quicker, and it smells good. I can almost feel like I can drink it, but I wouldn't want to attempt that fate. Okay, so we got our bolts here ready for it. We're replacing the smaller bolts here that was originally in there for these new ones right here. Again, unfortunately, there's no chrome color, but I think, again, black is not that bad. Black looks pretty cool on chrome. Alright, so let's go and take this guy out. He's already been, pretty much got this part out. I guess that's why they made it this way, so you can actually adjust a little bit. Because I guess some scooter, maybe the Allen bolts are not precisely the same. Maybe, I don't know. But everything else seems to be either interlocking. You can see here. Okay. It's kind of moved out a little bit, huh? But everything else seems to be in place. It looks like still alignment. That way it would give us a good chance of cleaning this crescent area, because I know there's so many things that are left in here. Let me go and try to get that guy squeezed out of there. Just pull him straight out. Should be fine. It's putting him in that you need to wiggle. Alright. So we're going to get a good placement for this guy. And pull him out, but that way you can see him. Okay, just kind of pull up. Oh, be easier. There we go. Maybe you can just do a little wiggle. He's coming, little by little, inch by inch. There we go. So there we go. Pulls right out of there. He's gonna hit the other back plate, which is fine. And just give him a little inspection there. See what he needs. We gonna clean him up or anything. Take him out of the harness area that he's meant on. So there we go. Then what we're gonna do is get him ready for reinsertion. Let's go and set him down a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Oh, there's my torque tool, by the way. I use Husky. It's a good brand. It's very easy to use. I did try the Harbor Freight one. I didn't care too much for it. Too much adjustment, too much variable. It didn't feel solid to me. So this one's a little bit more expensive, but I think it does the trick, especially when you're tuning a lot of your smaller parts. You want to make sure you get the right torque on there. So we're going to clean this guy up. Get the shop rag. There we go. He's still got some motor oil there. Just wipe it all out. It's fine. It's pretty clean already. Oh. Coming his base here. This is right here. You can see a little bit of the gears. Inspect those guys. Make sure their teeth is not damaged or anything from all the time we try to crank it, but it should be fine. You can see here the areas here. They're hard to get to. Now you can clean it up now. This was from the drops of, what do you call that? From all the carbon, from all the carburetor oil leaks. I mean, what do you call fuel leaks? So we get that out of the way. I'm going to wipe this area dry. This one shouldn't have motor oil sitting around here like this. It should be inside of it. Assembly lube, yeah, but not motor oil. So we'll get that out of there dry. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and apply some assembly lube back on the tippet. Prevent it from cracking, also the motor oil. Okay, that looks good there, nice and clean. We want to keep this clean right here. A little bit of the oil still kind of sitting there, it's fine. Yeah, it keeps your rubber moist. Your sealant not to dry and crack. But this is what we're going to go for. And try to, even though it has some pre-oiled in there, but just helps it spin. You can just put it right here on the tip. All the gears there will turn it around anyway, so it's not a big deal. And then there we go, engine assembly lube. And then you can put some in here. It's gonna splat all over. Protect the rubber O-ring there from drying up. You know, work this around because this is not gonna spin, so you want to give it adequate assembly lube there. Make sure you get all the round diameter of it. And this is the one that's nasty stuff comes back out when you push it in and you're trying to get it out. You can see that white line come back in, so you don't put too much, just enough where it spreads a little bit there. You're going to be twisting it a little bit, but it's not going to twist it 360, so you want to make sure you aim for 360 coverage of your assembly lube on there. That's it. It's not mandatory. I mean, you know, you could probably do without it still, or still work, but just preventative, you know, make sure it has a smooth sailing. Okay, you can wipe the whole body out. That can stay nice and dry. All the areas that needs to be dirt and stuff, especially, you don't want to bring it back in. That's why we wiped off the grease and reapplied it, because we don't want to introduce any of that new gunk in there. Go ahead and take this off and inspect it to make sure that's a good connection there, no rust. We put dielectric grease there too, which we probably will. go and open that dielectric grease here and apply that on there now. We have a big, huge cap of it. Really don't want the whole big cap, but that's all they had. I like the smaller one, so much easier to actually handle and put it on there. Let's see, we still have the smaller one somewhere laying. Probably used all the way up already, who knows. Yeah, I don't see it in here. So it's probably used up already, so we'll have to open that other, maybe go back in there. We got JB Weld. Our new primer, by the way, this is it, it's enamel. All in one. It's going to be a black gloss. That's going to take care of our rust and paint at the same time, so we don't have to paint over it. We're using enamel. So it's ready to go. Hopefully it doesn't create anything sticky though. We do want to have a gloss, but we don't want it to be sticky kind where it doesn't dry up. Alright, so we'll have to open that new one. Okay. Big tube, huh? This will definitely last us for a while. A lot of electrical work on it. Has a little thing you can insert. There you go. Poke it there. There it is. And it's just that little spatula is really what we need, but got that open. Let's go after that terminal, shall we? There we go. Put some dielectric grease in there. Don't be afraid to get your finger dirty. So it's just a protector. So where contacts meet up, put in the bolt area. You put it down below where the threads are. Anywhere, and then also the wire back there where the wires are. Put some in there. Just to protect it from moisture. Try to get this guy in there. There we go. He's in there. Wipe this guy off clean. There we go. That's the electric grease for you. Just, I know it's messy, it looks nasty. Just think about it better from having it to have moisture interfere with your contact. So that's why you want to leave it on there. You don't want to wipe it clean or anything. It's just going to look nasty, but it's going to do its job. Okay, you can wipe this clean though. Outside the boot. That doesn't need dielectric grease to expose itself. Okay. This is ready for reinsertion. So let's go back, bring out here. See where the teeth is I was talking about again. We're gonna make sure. Well, first of all, make sure I stay with the camera. Angle where you can probably see the teeth as well. Okay, so what you want to do is, oh, that's not a good thing. You want to. Okay, so there you go. You can see that teeth again. You want to just. Yeah, it is pretty chilly out here, but not that chilly compared to the East Coast, so I don't blame people for Californians complaining it's chilly. Our chili is like, what do you call that? Not the hottest pepper, but, you know, it's going to be like maybe Taco Bell sauce chili. How about that? Mild. You're not talking about the real habanero sauce here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and squeeze that in there. Now, you don't want to force it straight in there because you actually want to feel that the teeth is actually going in there and it has a slot for it. So sometimes you have to turn it this way. And what you're doing is when you're turning it, you're not like making this reshape itself. Or maybe you are turning this as well, but you're also turning the sprocket here as well, because you're trying to find a groove where both of them can say, hey, look, I think we got a place for you. It's a handshake now. You can come all the way in. But before you do that, you have to get past the O-ring rubber a little bit too, but also not force it. So there we go. We're just gonna squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And it's cold, so everything is kind of a little contracting. Now, a lot of people say you can actually put straight too, so we're gonna try to push forward, and that sometimes works because we're actually in the slot. What was preventing it was from the O-ring, so we kind of just pushed it forward, and it went through. So if you force it and you push it forward and it's still not going through, more than likely the teeth is not aligned where it can actually handshake each other, meaning, you know, the teeth needs to come together, sort of like, let's say these were teeth, right? It needs to come together like that, you know. Now if they're blocking each other like this and you're pushing forward, you know, it's not going to happen. But if they are aligned and what's holding is just the O-ring, you can push it forward and it will come through like that. So it's a matter of just aligning that teeth in there. So that one's there, and make sure it is flush here on both, not just one-sided. And then we're going to go and put our brand new Allen bolt in there. Cool. There we go. These are going to be a little shorter with the washer attached to it, or even without the washer. You can see how they were before. It's not too much of a difference, but just slightly. But again, you're just needing enough thread to actually come through here. So anything else is just extra. I mean, it can really even have a longer one. It can even come through, but why would you want it to come through? Okay, so we're going to go and put the Allen bolts in here. One. Turn it by hand, or try to anyway. It's kind of a little tight, cramped space. Probably need this just to hold it, not to... Okay, so here we go. I'm holding it, turning it. Kind of turning it wobbly here. Let me focus. And sometimes you're not in the hole yet, so you want to make sure you're not cross-threading it. So bring it back out, and I didn't actually check the front to see if the holes are somewhat aligned. They are aligned much as possible, I guess. There you go. Could be off a little bit. You could push down. There's still some wiggle room maybe, but not much. So this guy here looks like he can be lifted up a little bit, and this guy can be lifted up too. So that tells me is we have to actually align maybe this guy first, and then help him lift the other guy up. Help each other, right? So you can see here, I'm going to try to do it here. See, it's not letting me spin through it because I need to actually use one hand to actually lift that up. So I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to try to get the camera angle here, and then I'm going to try to lift up. Hit the clutch bell. Hear that? Dinner's ready. Hit the clutch bell with my my chair leg there. Okay, so you can still do it by hand. You just gotta lift up. See that? Just lift up a little bit, and the hole starts coming out to the line. As you can see where the hole is, there's a little block right there, right? So when you lift up like this, see, it comes into alignment, and when it comes into alignment, you can put the bolt in. I'm going to lift up a little bit. And you can do it by hand too, but I just want to get my finger out of the way. There we go. That one's almost ready. Now before I tighten it all the way, I'm going to actually get on the other side as well and start the process of getting that guy. Okay, so see, that one lifts up this one too. So there we go. I'm sure you guys know how to tighten an Allen bolt, but bear with me. Every challenge, we're going to come and see this together. Alright, so want to make sure it's not cross-threading it. So you want to just make sure it's going straight. I just don't want to touch my NCY dry face fan here with my Allen. It's getting close to it, but it's still letting me spin, thankfully. Trying to hoover away from it. Alright, so it's getting tight now. So it's ready to tighten this guy down. Oh, we didn't actually put blue Loctite. That's another step we forgot. So let's go and take it back out. And I do want to put blue Loctite on this because, again, everything vibrates on the GY6. Whatever you can, blue Loctite, blue Loctite. You won't regret it. I mean, worst come to worst, you're just going to say, oh man, I got to take it off again. I got to break the blue Loctite. Yeah, that's fine. Rather have it break and then keep your parts with you than have it break somewhere else and lose the part, right? Just like we lost our, well, that one shouldn't have been blue Loctite. That one should have just been tight. Lost our, what call that? Our carburetor ventilation bolt there. Alright, so let's go and get our blue Loctite. Hopefully eventually they'll start making it where it's actually in the same color as it should say, blue Loctite instead of a red tube. Now, I don't know why they do that. I'll confuse you more. And the red Loctite is also in the same red tube, but it'll say red. So I guess it's a standard code or something, red meaning it's some serious stuff. I'm not sure how serious, but okay, so we'll get that on there. Let's get it on the tip. Let it spread. Oh, look at that guy. Perfectly rounded. That's probably enough to get this guy too. Let's go and see if we can take him off. Oh! Well, I knocked him out already. So he has enough for himself only. Alright, so let's go and get him in there. And let's go get back his washer. His washer fell also. I don't want the washer to scrape the threads, but oh well. Look at that. It fell. The washer. Gotta put it back in. Yeah, I'm getting really jittery today. It might be the cold weather or what. Or I'm just like, you know when you're getting close to being done, you start getting like butterfinger. That's when gotta be a little bit more careful, I guess. Alright, so that's in there. Again, this will be torqued to spec the same. You'll probably torque it to about 7 foot-pounds. And again, we'll have our torque wrench in soon, so we'll probably take care of that in the next takeoff. But since it's already blue Loctite, I think we're okay. Blue Loctite will keep the vibration. Alright, there we go. Just hand tighten it as much as you can without feeling like it's too much. There we go. It's not going to go anymore anyway. With this tool, you don't think you can do more than probably, to most, probably 10 foot-pounds if you're strong. But unless you get into it like another handle, but this is not going to let you do more than that because you're just using your finger muscle to turn it. So that's just good right there. So that's one good thing about this is you can't over torque it too much with your hand only. Now you could put a little socket tool and maneuver this and make it a little bit more leverage and you're in trouble. So you don't want to do that for this, especially when it's going to aluminum, you know. It's just aluminum, your casing. Everything plays an important role because without this, you know, you're not, you could probably do it with one, but still over in the long run, your starter motor might act up a little bit because it needs that full force to make sure that this thing doesn't twist around. If that thing twists around, it's not going to grind on the proper gear inside your crankcase, and then you have another problem. So one thing after another. Let's go ahead and try to get this guy in there. Try and see if I can just scrape the lid, really. I used to be able to put in the cap and just dip it now. But I figure I'm a little bit more confident now. I could just squeeze. This guy goes a long way. Same thing with Dielectric Grease. All you really need is to buy one of these little small tube ones. You don't need that much, just that's it. This is pretty much what you really need. See? Not even the full whole area. Just enough there. Once it cements it, that's all it does. It creates like a cement. Reusable. Not reusable, but a cement that kind of seals the threads in there. Alright, so this guy, I'll need to align him again. Oh boy. Lift up, maybe. Yeah, maybe. There we go. Wow. Feeling it's biting the teeth. I'm almost afraid I'm going to hit this right here. So let me bring my towel and just protect it. My microfiber towel here. Put that in there to protect my NCY drive face. So we got that done. It's kind of a slow process, I know, especially when you're building something you enjoy. You want to take time to do it right. Okay, there it goes. See, it's not going to loosen it up anymore. We can rest assured that our Shenyang starter motor is secured on our crankcase. Okay, now so that one's done. I think what we could do now is focus on. I was actually going to take this cover off as well, and even put Allen bolts on this one as well. So let's see if we even have it. Another thing is I want to take it off and actually clean the fan. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that guy off and get started on getting that guy off of there and see if we can clean the fan area of it. So let's do that. 8mm. Thread size. Very, very cold. All these. Now this guy's going to go with the CVT cover, so we'll probably have to rip this thing apart and put it in a bag with it or something like that. Say goodbye to our CVT cover for right now. Or actually, no, we'll still use this because our Allen bolts still need to know which one is what. Even though they're going to be a little bit more universal. They're not going to be all that unique in sizes and length. Probably going to be a lot of quads, a lot of triple. They're going to be the same length. These ones, some of them will be the same length on their CVT. Because they will fit. Okay, so I'm going to take out this fan rug. That way it's a great way to clean it. So you can just submerge in some soap and water and just scrub it instead of cleaning it on here. It's easier. And that way we can inspect too. To see, and we're also going to probably replace the bolts here as well. We're going to put a newer bolt. It's the same bolt size we use here. It's actually it's going to be a 17mm bolt. That's going to be the same one that we used to lock this in. And we're going to replace these guys too. We're going to replace these bolts with new ones. You can see they're pretty old and kind of beat up. Sorry, see, look like they did a lot of impact on them. So we're going to replace these guys out before they strip on us. So we want to get to it before it get to us. So in the meantime, let's go remove this, and you'll see the center bolt here too. We're not going to take our flywheel off because there's no need to, I guess. Yeah, anyways, we'll see. So let me go and get this guy off of here. 8mm. You can use extender or not extended. But I'm just going to go ahead and use extended so you can see a little longer, I guess, of the view. If I can find my extended socket here somewhere. Lingering around. I think I use it to remove my wrist pin. So that was kind of nice. So this thing is very comfortable and helpful. You can knock out your wrist pin. Just be careful, don't damage your socket tip here. So I just use this one right here. It's more solid. So it's still long enough, almost to probe the wrist pin out of our, our piston. So basic tools you really need to maintain your scooter is a lot of 8mm socket, unless you're converting over to Allen branches. Oh, look at that. This is plastic, so you can just hold on to it. There's no need to do some serious, gripping or anything like that. Because it shouldn't have been torqued that heavily. This would probably be 5 foot-pound torque, really. So maybe close to about, I don't know, 65 inch-pounds.